Assalamu alaikum ji, welcome back to Evolve at 5, and today we'll be discussing facial profiling um, in the continuum of the previous things that we have been doing. Just for a recap, what's the philosophy, how does countenance come into play, what's the age that has to do with your facial profiling. Then yesterday we discussed work learning styles. How do we see what type of learning style that the person has, or the person in front of us has or is observing. So today we'll be discussing the left and the right brain. How do we identify a person who is a left brainer or a right brainer? Then because it's very important when it comes to facial profiling that predominantly right brain people have different strengths, and obviously those who have a dominance of left brain operate in a different manner. So how do we identify a right or a left brainer from facial profiling? People who have a more rounded appearance, rounded features, um, they are predominantly right brainers. They have high eyebrows. Overall, the countenance that we have discussed, you'll see it's more rounded. So that's one feature. People with round facial features, round head, round face type, or curved. Okay. Then with we have the left brainers. How do we identify them? It's through they will be finding more of a squarish element in them. They'll be having more of a rectangular or a square facial type. They usually have larger ears. They have strong facial features built. So these are some factors. There are a lot more if we go deep into facial profiling, but for now, to make the things understandable, to be comprehensive, these are the main things. So, and one important thing that I have been emphasizing every now and then, that it's a dominance. We can have a mix of both. We can have a person who is a right and a left brainer, but we don't have to label them. And on top, if we understand our inherent potential, we can always increase or improve that ability. For example, if I am a right brainer predominantly, and I lack some of those abilities which are in a left brainer, so I can only work on those things if I know them. So to start with, the single most important thing is self-awareness. That self-awareness that I am a right brain person and I need to improve my left brain abilities, skills, that is very much possible, and that should be done, because we are unfortunately most of the time trying to go either with our dominant traits or what we have in dominance, and we tend to overlook where we are weak. Especially we try to run away from the weaknesses. Over here facial profiling comes into play, and that's the power that it primarily gives us, that self-awareness, and then you can always build on it based upon what you have, what you want to achieve in life, or how do you want to move ahead. Okay, now what sort of features do we get in right brainer? Right brainer people are more of an emotionally intelligent people. And just to relate with the research or the data, 86% of success that has been studied in successful people, and there can be different parameters of success for everybody, but whom we think and who have been studied as successful people, they found that it's 86% emotional intelligence that is important for their success, and rest is intellectual quotient, that is known as the IQ, that we usually are testing through our exams and all that stuff. So that goes with emotional intelligence. Right brain where people are much more creative as compared to left brainers. Again, this does not mean that creativity will be missing or that will be absent in a left brainer, but it's a dominant trait of the right brainer. That's a bit about it. They are more into thinking, creativity. They'll be much more good in communication. All those soft skills which have been focused or which are focused for success are found predominantly in right brainers. Then they are much the last thing that I would like to just share over here. They because of that creativity, they are not, but they can be having much better a leadership potential where it specifically comes to creativity. Now moving to the left brainer. The left brainer are much of managerial type. The facial feature reflects also that they'll be having strong forehead, they'll be having larger ears, they'll be having squarish facial type, and it will be easy for them inherently, naturally. They are gifted to be better managers. There are many definitions between who is a manager and a leader, and it is there a difference between a manager or a management and leadership. What I have understood till now is that if you have given a person a few things, a resource, team, and he or she manages that well in that given situation, so he'll be having much better managerial skills. And when it comes to leadership and how does it relate, I'll just add to it. You have given the leader reduced amount of a limited amount of skills, limited amount of resources, and he can, through his creativity, through his emotional intelligence, through his logical thinking, he or she can create unexpected results because of that emotional intelligence, thinking qualities, and he can give much more better, much higher results than expected from a manager. So that's my take on the difference between leadership and management. That's my field of interest, so I am just picking upon that also. So these are some things from where you can grow. So where are the applications? Are your kids right or left brainer? There it starts. So you know and secondly, I just missed one thing. They are good at mathematical skills, numbers, the left brainers. So it's all related and it's all linked up. Where left and right brainer comes. Now we come back to how does it apply into our everyday life. It starts from counseling, it starts from parenting. Your kid around the age of 14, 15, where we start facial profiling, facial reading, because the rules are that we usually don't read a face which is under 14 years of age. So its application starts from your parenting, it goes into your education, into your teens, if you're applying it for your kids or if you are applying for others. So you exactly know, okay, if the person in front of you is he a left or a right brainer, he will be having much more creative ideas. If you have a right brainer person in front of you, and if you have a person who has features of a left brainer, he'll be having much stronger managerial qualities and potentials. So then it comes to you move to your graduation. You know what your strengths are. If you are good at management, please, I would suggest to go in management sciences and business stuff like that. But if you are much more creative, innovative, there are a lot of fields where you can opt for yourself. So here again comes the application of facial profiling and specifically talking left and right brain philosophy, because it has also to do with your learning, memory. Yesterday we discussed the VARK learning style. Then it comes to your professional life, and we have to communicate with people, we have to interact with people, and if you have that power of facial profiling, you exactly know as a leader, as a manager, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, okay, what are the strengths of your team and what the team weaknesses are. So I cannot emphasize more on the significance and the power of facial profiling. And again, I'll just try to clarify that we don't label people or judge based on these things. This is primarily what I use this facial profiling for is to improve my self-awareness and to improve the quality of interactions with people, with my patients, with my students. So that's how I'm using facial profiling. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Stay safe. Join us. Allah Hafiz.